What is up, everybody? Good morning. I'm gonna give everybody a second to roll in. Greg Gilbert, one of my first ones to sign in. That's awesome. That's called dedication. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's a nothing burger kind of day. I was looking at some beautiful gaps up, beautiful gaps down, and Q is kind of sort of looking interesting. SPY is also kind of sort of looking interesting on the daily. It is going to be a gap and go if we open here, provided that we open below this candle. So, I mean, it's not really a gap yet, but we're opening at the bottom of the barrel. And, on SPY, you can't see it very cleanly, but there is this channel that the Qs have. Here, let me show it to you on MQ. So I don't know if you guys can see this channel very, very cleanly, right? And we are either going to go soaring high or we're going to go collapsing down. But this is a lot of days in a row of just sideways momentum. If you look at it on the 4 hours, I mean, check this out. Since God knows, I think since here, technically, March 23rd to April 25th, we've established this channel and we haven't done anything to move it whatsoever. We tried to break out once, didn't really work out. We tried to break out again, didn't really work out. And we're trying again to break down on it. One thing I do know for certain is that if we break down on this, it is going to be a quick fall off and a retest and possibly a good opportunity to short over there when we retest. I'm not sure if that's going to happen today or if we just go screaming down again. I have very little data on which I'd be like, yeah, guys, today is where we go short. But can you guys see how important this level is? How many times we've had touchdown and we've gotten rejected. And for the past couple of days, we've been using it as a level of support. So 12,950 is a good green line in the sand, and I want to watch this area and see what happens around there. I am in a quick short pre-market just based on 3-minute head and shoulders. It just looked cute. I should have gotten filled. Oh no. Okay, well, never mind. I am in this short. My entry was somewhere over here. And I saw this trend line break. So I am in this short, but my target is 12,990. So, and if it doesn't get there, I will close it out really, really quickly. I hate trading before the market's open. So after 8:30 to 9:30 is just not 9:30 Eastern, my time. It's just not a very ideal time to be in the futures market. So it's just a quick scalp. I like this head and shoulders playing out and it looked cute. So anyway, AI is gapping up, stocking UPS, gap down, but gap into previous support. So UPS obviously is number one on my list. Greg, you're like in my, what do they say? Great minds think alike, I think, but then I think your mind is greater. All right, let's check UPS out. So earlier when I was looking at it, it was somewhere over here around this range. And I thought, oh, well, it's weekly 20 EMA. However, if you look on UPS, guys, I know it's a pretty massive gap down. And I know their earnings were horrible. They had a surprise element and all of that and whatever. But I would not want to just, it's a gap and go, but it's just, it's a $10, $11 gap down. Almost 8% gap down, I want to say. So I want to wait for us to pull up a little bit. Now, I'm not expecting a lot of buying to come in right at open. I don't think that's plausible for UPS, especially with the kind of earnings that they've had. But the reason why I want to wait for a little bit of buying coming in is this trend line right here. I think I'll just give up on drawing from here on. And if you can kind of tell, we're opening right here. at that trend line. So give it a little bit of room to go up a little bit and then maybe look for that move down. That's what my plan is. I mean, it's a beautiful gap and go. And hey, if we break down on this trend line, fantastic, go short all you want. But I want to see us dip a little bit at open and then get bought up to go higher and then roll over. I think that would be an interesting play. If you're looking to short something, Greg, I like McDonald's a lot more because I mean, if you check it out, it's just a lot of buyers in a row on the day. And when I was looking at it, it was a little bit higher too. But it's, you know, it's that many weeks of buying, and I'm sure there's going to be profit taking that occurs up here. On McDonald's. So I think this would be a cute fade right at open. I wouldn't remain in this short too much though. So as soon as we fill this gap, so let's say, you know, we get some buying come in, one big green candle right here, short below that candle all the way down to this gap fill area. I mean, it is a retest gap, so it is going to pull back, right? Now, I don't know if the retest gap is going to retest and then bounce or continue down lower, but I can tell you that this is El Primo candidate for profit taking right now. It looks like it, I mean, if you just look at the weekly chart, it reminds me of NVIDIA on steroids. You know, it just so many weeks of buying. I'm sure some profit taking will occur. We're extended off of the weekly. The RSI is pretty high. If you look at the daily RSI, it's super high. So one thing's for sure, I'm not looking to go long, for sure. We've established what not to do on this. So now, what is our other option? We're going to fade it down. So if we can catch a cute short, this will be something that I will watch for sure. Okay. All right, cool. Chuck says, how about CHA? Is that a, I don't even know if that's a ticker or you mean to say, how are you? Good morning, Rock. Oh, hello. I'm like, oh, wait, is CHA a ticker? I don't know. All right. Well, speaking of goofballs, where's the regional? Hold on. No, which one's the one that gapped down really big yesterday on earnings? Do you guys know which one I'm talking about? The bank that gapped down, the Dan's Longen? It's not Regions, but anyway, we'll come back to it. And that one is FRC. That's what I was like, FCR? I don't know which one it is. FRC, sorry. I do have it, First Republic. I do have it on my phone. This is a pretty nasty gap down. Okay, on a daily, on a weekly. Do not short this, guys. I know the sentiment is super bearish on this. Wait for some bears to come in at open. You know, let's see. Let's say we get some more bearish action going on over here. Go long above that. I know it's a gap and go, but it's just, it's so extended. I feel like you're really shorting this thing at the bottom of the barrel, and it's just not. I mean, it does have room to go down to zero. I mean, technically it's got 11 points, 11.87 points, but I would just not, I'm not in this short at this point. As a matter of fact, what do you think people are going to do when, you know, all of these people that got in long over here, they wake up today and they see this ticker down a little bit? They're going to either get out of their position or maybe add to their position. So when they get out of their position and this thing dips a little bit more, new buyers are going to jump in. Again, I know they had horrendous earnings and I know they had incurred massive losses and all of that. And I know banks are pretty, you know, under tight scrutiny, but this is not your buddy to go short on. Instead, I would short McDonald's. Your chances of winning on it are much higher. Or UPS, chances of winning on it, much higher comparatively. 3M and JetBlue are also gapping somewhat. It's hard to find gaps today. It's just not really playing out the way I thought it would. I mean, Tuesdays are really just kind of like slow, decisive day. I think we have some data coming out tomorrow, so I don't know. But Tuesdays are just really whatever, meh kind of day. So this was gapping up a little tiny bit, and now it's not. I guess it's not a big gap anymore. Earlier it was somewhere over here, and I thought it was kind of cute around that area. But it's not gapping up massively now. So, oh well. Raytheon Technology. This, I feel like I like this gap up. Really, I do. When I looked at it, it was like somewhere over here. Everything's kind of pulled back a little bit, but I still like it. It's holding the 10 EMA, and it might go look for that gap fill. Again, if the broader markets pull back, this thing's going to pull back altogether. But if the broader markets hold and go higher, this is our bull basket. This is where we go long. I mean, provided it opens above this hammer candle, right? I don't want to go long if it opens somewhere here. But if it opens above this hammer candle, then I'm interested. I want to take a look at it. I want to go long, hoping that this gap fills. So that's something that I'll keep an eye out for. Would you recommend put sales on FRC? Yes, absolutely, Chuck. If there is premium, because puts are going to obviously be very high up in price today at open, right? And if there's decent premium around 10, even 9.59, then I would sell puts. Actually, I might do it with you. I'll take a look at the premium and see what kind of premium there is. But yeah, I'll do it with you. It just makes sense to do that. You know, again, if I get put those shares, I'm going to do one put, two puts, maybe at best. If I get put those shares and then FRC goes to zero, I'm going to lose $1,800 technically. But provided I get put the shares, then it goes to zero, and then I have no option to do covered calls. I mean, there's a lot of elements to it. So yeah, I feel like it's one of the safer plays to sell puts on FRC than to go short on it right now. I wouldn't be buying puts for certain, for sure. Eric says, hello all. Hello, Eric. How's it going? Let me circle back to YouTube land and see if there are any comments right here. What's up, everybody? FRC, that's what we were looking at. Okay, GM and CRSP. That's what YouTube land wants to look at. Let's check it out. GM has a gap up. It is a cute gap, but this thing tends to move not too much. I mean, I see these wicks and I see these big candles. So sure, yes, I like this gap up. It is gapping into the 20 EMA on the daily, so we might find some resistance over there. I like where it's gapping into for a pullback. It's a retest gap. So let's see how GM holds around 10 EMA, right around this level. Under no circumstances should we get closes below the 10 EMA. So put an alert around 34.50 and see if your alert triggers. But this would be a good spot to go long on GM. I mean, it is a lot of support at this area. We're gapping up into this trend line right here. And I think at open, we're going to come back and pull down a little bit and then maybe climb up higher. But GM looks great. Fantastic. Great earnings. Looks great. I like it. Just don't get too excited at open. Give it some room to pull back down to this area and then go long. Let's look at it on the weekly real quick. Weekly's got room to go. I mean, it's not like we can't go any higher. We can. There is a lot of support. I'm glad it's not gapping down, because if it was, that would be brutal on GM. So I'm glad it's not gapping down. And essentially, if you look at it, you know, you'd be the wise guy buying at this bottom, this bottom, this bottom, this bottom, and this bottom. So every single time for the last 5 or 6 times, it's done this when it's tested that trend line. So yeah, I don't see why not. Again, for a day trade, 34.50 is where I'm looking for a long, with my target at 35.40. And we'll see where it wants to go. I think the broader markets want to pull back at open and then go higher. So that's something that I'm watching out for. Let's go look at SPY in a little bit more detail. SPY again is at really, really big resistance. Okay. And it's got some levels that it needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, it's going to come back down. it's gapping down right now. And we've had 3 days of indecision. If you look at NQ, it's on the daily. We've had 6 days of doji on the daily. And this is a Qs. So, indecision here, indecision here, indecision here, indecision candle, indecision candle, indecision candle. And that just tells me that the bulls and the bears are out to play. They'll play it in either direction. They're just looking for direction. That's it. And no one's really clear in which way we go. So that's it. How about FedEx? Let's go check out SPY and then we'll go look at FedEx too real quick. Okay, cool. So, SPY is looking interesting at this level, and anything below this guy right here, anything below 410, and I think we're in for a ride. This is the next level that I'd be watching for, 406.40. That's it. Or if you want to be brave, if you don't want to be that brave, then 406 or 407 right here. But this is the next level that we need to stop at if we break down on this. I also see this beautiful head and shoulders that's playing out. SPY, we don't hold these levels, guys. We're going to come down to here and it is established. That's going to happen. So it just depends on how quickly we come down there. So, or how quickly, we fall and retest these levels. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for SPY. It is a cute gap. The Qs have on the daily, the Qs don't really have that gap yet, but the Qs give up 313 and we're coming down a lot lower, possibly to fill that gap. So just be careful going long or short anything. If you're shorting here at support, technically. And if you're going long and the support doesn't hold, then we're going to go down a lot more. So just be careful. Don't get trapped on SPY or the Qs just yet. Okay, so let's go look at another ticker that YouTube Land had, CRSP, and then we'll go look at FedEx and SPOT. CRISPR. Okay, cool. This guy, what is it? Pre-market? No trades. That's what it says. Okay. All right. Pretty simple, easy trade on CRISPR. Long above here and short below here. That's how I would do it. That's it. If you go short, there's a downside target right here. So if you're looking at it from a short perspective, double top, retest of that double top, and we roll on lower, or head and shoulders, and we roll on lower down to this as your target. If you're looking at it from a long perspective, then we have a bull flag continuing to go higher. I would not be going long on CRISPR until we take out this level. So that would be the only thing I'd be watching for. So as you can see, it's doing this right now. But if it did that, it's got room to go, a lot of room to go higher. So that would be my play on CRISPR. Other than that, I don't have any other data, so I don't know what it's doing. Oh, it's gapping down, I guess. This is where it is at 50. Right here. But yeah, that's what I'd be doing, guys. Have I looked at AI yet? No, not yet. I actually had it on my list and then I took it off. Let's see where AI is going. Beautiful head and shoulders. I'm not shorting AI today. I think it would be a little bit too ambitious to go short on AI today. It is extended to the downside still. I'd be looking for a long on this if the markets take off. I really think it could. Yeah, I'd be looking to buy the dip, go up and retest this line 2043, and then look for that short. So if you don't want to take a risky play, then just wait till it comes back up to 2021 and then short that. But this is a pretty big head and shoulders. 4 hours. Looking cute too. So yeah, That's what I would do. 4 hours is kind of, see, the RSI is super low for me to go short on this. I think we're playing a little too ambitious if we go short on this. So I'd be looking for a long and then a rollover. Touch of this 20 EMA and a rollover is what I'm expecting on AI today. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Saw something in Webull about a contract with US Air Force. Okay. But this is AI, unless you're looking for American Airlines, because that's AAL, if that's what you're talking about. A C3 AI. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. Amazon might not be a bad one either. So let's look at Amazon real quick, and we shall. Then we have to look at Google too. Amazon is, yeah, I mean, indecision. So now we're kind of sort of gapping down on it. They have Amazon and Google report earnings today, right? No, 27, so day after. Okay, cool. Who reports earnings today? Is it Meta? I know some of them do today, and it's a pretty interesting play. Let's go look at Amazon. It's been on a tear lately. This, my friends, is looking cute. So this is one of those tickers that I like to put the other, hold on, parallel channel. Okay, cool. And if we take this, I mean, obviously this trend line's breaking. If we take this out, I think we can easily come down to the bottom of this channel, which would be this trend line again. Around 101.50 is where I would be looking to get out. But I like the gap down on Amazon, honestly. I mean, it's not really a gap down. It is a retest gap. I know there's a 10 EMA right here at 103.88. So maybe wait to see what it does, maybe wait to see some buying come in and then look for that short. If not, if you want to be impatient and get in short right away, then short. I think we can definitely pull back a little bit on Amazon. We're not really super high on the RSI, but I kind of like this move down for sure. Yeah. Okay. Visa, Microsoft, and Chipotle after hours today. All right, speaking of which, let's look at Verizon because it's at a very good level of support. Honestly, I might actually add some to Verizon. This is a pretty big gap down on Verizon on earnings, and it's okay if it's gapping down. I do have my long-term shares in this. It's okay if it's gapping down. I have very few little positions, so it's not anything that I'm super scared about, but if you're looking for a day trade, I'm only looking at Verizon for a long-term perspective. I'm never looking at it for a day trade. But if you are looking for a day trade, then I would wait till we fill that gap. This is way too many bears in a row profitable, guys. What happens when bears are profitable? Let's think about this. What if you were the smart guy that shorted over here, which there were a lot of smart guys there. And then there were a lot of smart guys here too. And then there were a lot of smart guys here. So if you were the smart guy that shorted over here, you're going to get out. Today is your day to take profits. We are at a level of support. So if you want to look for a long to that gap fill area and then no buyers step in, then maybe look for that rollover. But until then, I am not touching Verizon short. I think we're very, very extended to the downside and we're gapping into support. If you look at it on the weekly, we are breaking down on this trend line per se, with this gap down. We do have this head and shoulders, but guys, if we look at this guy, it really, it's like, well, I mean, it's got room to go down, sure, yeah, but it's at a decent level of support right now. You know, there's this support here, there's this support here, there's this support here, there's this wick. I don't even know if that's a real wick or not, but this support, that's a lot of support areas. This reminds me of AMD on a weekly a while ago, and there was just a lot of support areas. So yes, I do see this head and shoulders. Yes, it can go much, much lower. Next stop would be 30, and then after that, it would be 25. So yes, it does have room to go lower, but I don't think today is the day for us to go short right at open. I just don't think that's the right thing to do today. Let's go look at Tessie real quick. Tesla on the 4 hours. So a lot of people were asking me what we are going to do with Tesla. It is a nasty gap over earnings, and yes, it's whatever, but it's got room to go lower for sure. And 145 is where I'm gonna go look for that short. But I do think Tesla's gonna chop around sideways, hover around here for a little bit longer, go touch maybe 170, maybe even go touch the 10 EMA before it rolls over. If you look at the 4-hour RSI, we know exactly what not to do, guys. We have our divergence right here. So I will only be looking for long setups on Tessie. I know it sounds really silly. I know nobody out there is going to be like, oh yeah, we'll go long Tesla. But the technicals are not really responding to a short side. And if we do go short, that's okay. But I think there's not going to be that much to the downside versus a lot more to the bull side. So that's what my plan is on Tessie. Until then, until it goes and retests certain levels at 170 or 172-ish, I'll just leave it alone. And then when it does, I will look for those short setups. I feel like I would get much more out of Tesla short if I shorted it up here than down here right now. So if you played the earnings gap, great, fantastic, good for you. If you did not, then just I think leave it alone and look for longs at certain levels. If we drop at open today, here's a good level of support right here at 152. I don't think it's going to go down to 152. And if it does, then we might as well go down to 146 at that point. But I don't think that's going to happen. I do see this divergence. Tesla, every single time it pulls back this low, I mean, it's not like we can't go any lower. There is that here too, right? It's not like we can't go any lower. But if we go lower, that's only going to give us more chances to go long eventually. So, and every single time it's done that, we've had a bull run. Right here is another example. You know, we've had a run up and then pull back. That's what I'm looking for on Tessie. I don't want to be shorting here. I think I'd be really, really wrong if I did that. So that's what I'm looking for. Let's go look at Goopster. It is also another level. Goog and Shopify. Actually, let me show you Shopify. This is another ticker that I'm watching really, really closely, only because I'm in it long and I have calls, but my calls expire in September, so I'm okay. It filled this gap really, really well right here, almost filled this gap, and now it's getting rejected. And I hate that it's getting rejected because I needed it to go higher and take out this double top, but it's not really doing that right now. Keep an eye out on Shop. Great target levels down here. So 46 is a beautiful target level right here on Shop. If we do a parallel channel on it, there we go. So today with this gap down, I think it could even go a little bit lower, but I would take all at 46. There is 10 EMA and the 20 EMA along the way that might act as support, but Shopify is getting rejected after that gap fill. Everybody that bought here is going to have their hopes a little bit and their ego a little bit damaged today, including me, by the way. So I don't know, could be a cute little day trade today if we continue on down. I will keep an eye out for this and move it up along with UPS. Okay, awesome. Let's look at Google real quick. This is at resistance with earnings coming out later on in the day. I don't know if you want to be a buyer here. And if you are a buyer here, high five, my friends. I'm not going to touch Google here unless it's got a great setup. It's in that it's in that way where it's like, I don't know which way it's going to go. Either way, there's room to go. So up at 109, down at 104. And we'll see which way it goes. So yeah, good luck trading Google out there today, guys. If you have the chance, please leave it alone at open and see what happens. All right, YouTube land, it is unfortunately time for me to say goodbye to you all. So if you can, give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe to RLT. It would be awesome. Thank you so much.